So kia ora mai tātou, welcome to He Mahi Tahi today on the 18th of August 2020. I'd like to ask Arapata, would you like to bless us today? That'd be great. Thank you for that, Arapata. I note that everybody's here, but is there any apologies? No? No, so we're good with that. Any further conflicts of interest to be reported? Anybody got any new jobs, roles?
I wish.
We meant the voluntary time. Shall I take the minutes of He Mahi Tahi from meeting held on the 16th of June read? So I recommend that Mahi Tahi Joint Committee confirms the minutes as a true and correct record and the circulated minutes of the meeting of Mahi Tahi Joint Committee held on the 16th of June. Second by A. Blackie. Do I say your whole name or what is it? Where just say Al. All in favour? Any abstained? Okay, carried. You go.
Just Adrian just wanted me to remind everyone that we're in live stream, so this is being recorded. So there may well be people. No, I'm not sure. I think it's only. I think it's only voice recording, isn't it, Adrian? So you don't have to worry about visual appearance. You can if you want to, but anyway, it's live stream.
Thank you for that timely reminder. So first on the agenda we have the reports, and so we've got a report, Heritage and Mahinga Kai area, Kaipoi South, from M. Flanagan, which is the landscape planner of regeneration. And the recommendation that Mahi Tahi receives the report. Okay, cool. You can, yeah, sure.
Thank you for your time this morning. For those of you whom I haven't met, my name is Michelle Flanagan. I work in the District Regeneration team and we work on implementing the land uses in the recovery plan on what was previously red zone land. To date we've been largely working in the Kaipoi East regeneration area, building the new sports fields and recreation reserve, and now we're starting to turn our attention to the Kaipoi South area. The purpose of this report is to seek approval from the committee to commence the planning and design of the Heritage and Mahinga Kai area, including starting discussions on a co-governance framework. I'll take the report as read if that's acceptable and just pick up some of the key points through that. In the recovery plan, an 8-hectare area was shown for Heritage and Mahinga Kai purposes. This area is shown on the map included on page 19 of your agenda. That's attachment 1. This area extends along the banks of the Kaipoi River and the Courtenay Stream, generally east of Courtenay Drive. This land use was included in the recovery plan as it was identified as having significant cultural values during the preparation of the recovery plan. The Heritage and Mahinga Kai area is noted as being a public reserve that provides space for cultural and social activities and a unique recreational experience for the community. That was the definition that came through the recovery plan. The development of the Heritage and Mahinga Kai area is seen as a key partnership between Council and the Runanga and is a key regeneration project we're continuing on with. Last year, a preliminary report on the area was presented to the Kaipoi Tuahiwi Community Board. The report was prepared by Mr. Rupene and Mr. Wepu from Environment Canterbury and was endorsed by the Runanga. The report is included as attachment 2 to this report, and that's on page 20 of your agenda. The report focused on the creation of an edible forest consisting of 2 plant communities, a wetland community and a photocarp forest. Based on this report, staff developed a preliminary draft concept plan setting out how these plant communities could broadly look on the site based on environmental conditions. This preliminary draft is on pages 30 to 33 of the report. The purpose of this preliminary draft plan was to seek funding through the Provincial Growth Fund for fencing and native planting. Unfortunately, the project didn't meet the criteria for funding, but we're hoping that the plan may be a good place to start discussions on how the area could be developed into an edible forest. To build on the preliminary draft concept plan and to progress the heritage of Mahinga Kai area, this report is seeking approval to establish a working group to champion the planning and design of this area. This working group could include members from both the Runanga and from Council and could bring recommendations through this committee. Broadly speaking, the group could propose a co-governance framework for the project, recommend a name for the reserve, complete a concept and management plan, prepare work and staging plans and determine budget allocations. The proposed Heritage of Mahinga Kai area is a long-term partnership project. There is currently $60,000 budgeted in the 2021 year for planning and design purposes. An additional $1.68 million over 22 to 26 for development of the area, all subject to long-term plan processes. This funding will not be sufficient to develop the entire site, and therefore seeking additional funding through third-party funding providers will be required at later stages. Development of the Heritage of Mahinga Kai area is a key regeneration and partnership project which we're really keen to get underway. And this report is hopefully the start of this process. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
You go.
Thank you. Just on the recommendation itself, can we change the word in the red zone to regeneration? Yeah. There's no red zone areas anymore.
Thank you, Neville. My question, Michelle, was where is the proposed splash park going to be in relation to this area here?
That's on Kaipoi East Regeneration Area, so north of the river.
Does anyone have any further questions to the report?
Just, thank you. Just under 4.18, wonder whether Al and I did have a conversation yesterday about adding the portfolio holder for regeneration and the list of members in the working group. We could look at including that as part of 4.18. Is that the portfolio holder is out? So just it makes sense to keep them included.
Pass an observation which we had yesterday. It's important that we, one of the key objectives was a co-governance group to lead this piece of work, and I think we still need to give some thought about the best way of ensuring the long-term co-governance of this area and how best to achieve that. And the working group, I think, is a good interim step to get some work underway, but I think as we think about the co-governance group, which at the moment the interim group is a combination of governance and staff working together, which will work well, but as we migrate to a co-governance arrangement, however that might look, that this working group might change and become perhaps more, I'll call it staff oriented as opposed to what's essentially a mixed model that sits here with some governors and some staff working over it. And I think while this will get us underway, I think we should review that once we actually get to a point of agreeing what the appropriate governance structures are, which would come back to this committee to decide on.
Thank you, Jim. My idea around the working group, what does the commitment look like? Because I'm saying there's a person from Tuahuriri, an elected member from Mahi, Tahi, I'm like, okay, more Arapata, no. Well, that's more his Mahinga Kai, is more his area. But so what is the commitment looking like on something like a group like this before it goes co-governance?
To be fair, the commitment hasn't been detailed, so we don't have a good idea of what that would be. I anticipate, as Jim said, there's a mix of staff and governance there. those roles would fit, so that the staff, I would imagine, would undertake the majority of work in consultation and collaboration with the governance partners in that. But there would be requirements to meet and work together and collaborate.
Yeah, just on that, tonight I think that structure is similar to what the original intent for Matapouri. We had our Kauri group and we had the local with below it doing all the money.
Does anyone have any further questions for Michelle?
Michelle, just under 4.18 resolving it against the recommendation, so you're going to bring it, says how that if you'll bring a further report, will you pick up that point that I made around the portfolio holder? Okay.
I just want to be clear to Arapata and to Mahi, we're happy to mandate Matapouri to do this work.
Really?
Well, that's
I'd
the question.
have to leave that to the working group. I mean, I've read through it quite good and a lot of it's already been done. I'm not sure where Matapouri would add value to it, to be honest. And also given the small amount of budget we've got, it might be but I was thinking, something like Shane Downs. I think, I'm happy for the working group to yeah. I mean, we're creating a working group, we shouldn't be really imposing stuff on them.
Do you have a view?
I agree with you, not getting more work. Just my view at the moment. And my view is the governance issue is going to take up a lot of time. How we're going to consider that. So it's a working group in that open.
There's two. So the working group is the governance group, and then the local one.
Trying to have a strict view on it.
I think this working, Michelle, with whomever other support she needs, is going to do the driving of this, and you'll be essentially bringing work periodically to this working group to review it. So it's not a doing, it's a work. It has a governance function essentially. It's not a work, it's other than reviewing the work and giving a scent or direction to Michelle and the team about what is intended. This interim group is really getting us underway and started, as opposed to a heavy time commitment. So I think if you're looking to contribute here, I'm anticipating maybe an hour a month might be a sort of expectation until that governance arrangement has been put in place, which you're probably talking up to 6 months, depending on how quickly the group forms a view on what the governance arrangement should be and then recommend it back here.
So, I'm a little bit, when I look at the purpose of the working group, to establish the champion of co-government planning, design and development on the part. Yeah, I thought that would be the role of the governance group, with the support staff underneath them. Yeah.
Is that how that's being pitched? So you've got the working group, aka governance group, which is what I think has been said. Maybe it's 1 hour a month with staff support underneath.
That's what I envisage it to be, until such time as we've got a proper governance group established, and then there'll probably be a Mahi group underneath it that is continuing to do the work, which is probably more staff or whether it's thank you staff or Matapouri, depending on what is seen as the governance group can assent whatever is the staff structure underneath it once it's established.
Are you happy with that part?
I'm happy to move the recommendation, Madam Chair.
Yeah. full 20 of them? No.
Was it? Is there 20 there?
No.
Okay.
The
The
council.
A to J. Yeah.
A to J. I just want to be clear on the E. Sorry, who was this name? I swore. I just want to be clear on the E, and this is for tuahuriri. Are we clear to, what I heard earlier, you're clear to take away E from the agenda?
I think that's the responsibility of the working group, co-governance member.
Okay, so
So you want me to
remove E.
I'm happy to remove E.
Okay, so we receive that Mahi Tahi Joint Development Committee recommends that Council approves A, B, C, D, F, and F. Oh.
F, G, H, I, and J.
Yes, all of those. Second by L. Any, all in favour? Any against? The ayes have it.
Excellent. Well done, then. You picking up this chair and things really well. We could have a job for you.
We're looking for a new CE, you know.
Is that all that is now?
Yes, so we now just note that our next meeting is scheduled that date, and then we come into briefing because we're going to talk about our over the page meeting under item 10 anyway. So if we just note that our next meeting is then close that part and we go into briefing.
Okay, so I'd like to note that the next meeting of Mahi Tahi Joint Development Committee is scheduled for 9:30, Tuesday the 20th of October, to be held in the function room at Rangiora Town Hall. This is this room, by the way, if we don't know how to get in here. That was me earlier. And we're going to go into a briefing.